Barney Rock is the replacement for Charlie Redmond, who broke down in training on Thursday night last, while Donald McCarthy comes in for the luckless Niall Guyton. This means that there are now 4 changes in the team from that which started 7 days ago. Paul Beelan comes into midfield to link up with Dave Foran. Rock and McCarthy start in the half-forward line, while Kieran Duff is listed at left corner forward. As expected, provincial champions Meath also make a couple of positional switches following their fine second-half showing on Sunday last. Sean Kelly remains in midfield, with PJ Gillick retaining the full forward berth and Tommy Dowd redeployed at left half-forward. Undoubtedly, Liam Hayes takes much of the credit for Meath's recovery in the drawn match, which kept the county's hopes alive of a 5th Leinster title in 6 years, which is just one of the reasons why Dublin opted to move Dave Foran back into midfield following the largely unsuccessful experiment of playing him in attack last week. Well, one thing which hasn't changed is the referee, and that is Tommy Hard from Kildare. And likewise, the wind hasn't changed. There's a wind factor once again here this afternoon, as Dublin, playing against it, have an opening here with Vinnie Murphy looking for their opening score. And it really is one that they would have wished to take. Many positional switches I can tell you about in the Dublin attack. Barney Rock, for instance, has gone onto the 40. Jack Sheedy playing top of the right. And Donald McCarthy, as expected, is operating at top of the left. And it is Kieran Duff against Kevin Foley, renewing acquaintances over on the left wing. Paul Beelan here, winning himself the free just inside the Dublin 65-metre line. That breeze, Jack O'Shea, very considerable one.
Yeah, it's a very strong breeze out there today. I think Meath would have to press home a 5 or 6 points half-time lead for that win to be to their advantage. But Dublin have started well, and Vinnie Murphy had a good chance there.
So it's Ferguson against Jack Sheedy as Keith Barr winds himself up for this free. Didn't hit it all that well, didn't get much elevation into it. A foul in any case by David Beggy on Eamon Heary. Colm O'Rourke wearing the strapping there on that left knee, a legacy of an old injury. Barney back in the fray then, marked by Liam Harnan this afternoon. That's the angle confronting Keith Barr, kicking into the wind. Again, not much height in it, in towards Barney Rock. Struggling to contain it, doing well, turning against Harnan. And Dublin have kicked their second wide. You would normally be putting the life savings on Barney Rock to have hit that one over from a very favourable position. McCullen's kick out. Liam Hayes seeking to fetch, foiled by Beelan. Curran. So it's O'Connell who's got the job this afternoon of picking up Paul Curran. Huge crowd present here at Croke Park, watching Keith Barr taking his third free of the match, and again a low one across, and that was David Beggy showing us his rugby skills, getting across there to deflect that one away. Duran Dufflin blocked down by Kevin Foley, his marker, spills back here to Liam Hayes, wants to lift the siege then and set up Meath's first attack, comes off the Dublin full back there, Kieran Walsh. Hit in by Bernard Flynn. Kennedy, the player who was fouled. Tommy Dowd, who really had that exciting second half here up at the other end of the field 7 days ago. It's between Beelan and Sean Kelly. Comes down to Tommy Carr, held. Jack Sheedy calling for it. Robbie O'Malley seeking to be a good deal more assertive. He's given it away to Barney Rock. It was intended for Kevin Foley. Now Donald McCarthy here. Tight angle, and the umpire on the far side was well positioned to see that it had just gone outside. Well, Jack, Dublin certainly having the scoring openings.
Yeah, Dublin are doing very well at the moment. I think they might rue these chances. Against a very strong breeze, they need to put a few scores on the scoreboard. But they're winning a lot of the ball at the moment around the middle of the field.
Jack Sheedy firing in the ammunition towards Vinnie Murphy. Murphy there being restrained by Mid-Lines, and it's still Vinnie Murphy, and the referee has signalled that it's a free out. The Dublin fans appealing for a penalty. Lions had to be disciplined that time against Vinnie Murphy, and in the end Tommy Howard, somewhat controversial referee in last week's 70 minutes match, gives the free out to Meath. Vinnie Murphy shaking the head ruefully. Yet another Dublin free kick. Dublin's 6-3. So 5 minutes gone, still no score. And Barney Rock has come out the field, just outside the 45-metre line. Struck well, nicely delivered, the opening score, and Barney is the scorer. From a good distance out, about 48 metres out, and Rock the scorer who've 2 goals and 3 points in the last Meath Dublin Championship replay. That was back in 1983. Colm O'Rourke, a fine fetch. Hayes was looking for it. Pass delivered in towards Bernard Flynn, seeking to put Meath on level terms. Got their first scoring chance and they put it over the bar. The economical Bernard Flynn, his first point of the day, having struck 3 beautifully hit points in the drawn match last weekend. And back he goes to mark Tommy Carr, as you'll see. They're well aware of Dublin's ability to take the kick-outs quickly. That was very well read by Bernard Flynn, spotting that there might have been a quick kick out from John O'Leary to Tommy Carr. Liam Hayes fisting it down. Carr. Kicked up towards Donald McCarthy, dropped by Robbie O'Malley. McCarthy again. Kicking into the wind, and he's kicked it outside. 4th wide now for Dublin. A player who played in the league final was substituted in that match against Kildare. Dropped by Dave Foran, but he recovers well. Heary. Low inside, cut out by Kevin Foley. Harnan. Down towards Bernard Flynn, fisted down by Mick Deegan, and Keith Barr tripped by Colm O'Rourke.
So far in this game, I don't think there's as much tension as there was last week. The players intend to playing the ball a bit more. But you know, Dublin I think have started quite well. They've missed a few very good scoring opportunities, which I think they need to put on the scoreboard. Here we've seen Leinster here with Keith Barr getting the ball, and Cormac in very strongly. Last week as well, Cullen went in very hard on the Dublin half-back line every time they gained possession and stopped up their play.
So it's the recovered Keith Barr who takes the free. Well, normally he belts them in. Granted, the wind is against him, but they haven't been hit all that well so far in this match. Beggy carrying it forward. Transferred by Gillick to Beggy. Scoring chance here for David Beggy from 13 metres out. Hit raspingly over the crossbar. Well, Meath, by my book, have had 2 chances so far. One for Bernard Flynn, one for David Beggy, and they've taken both. Well, as you said a bit earlier, Jack, Meath would be expecting to build up a good lead by half-time, aided by the wind in the first half.
Yeah, that point stemmed from a bad free kick again by Keith Barr, which normally he doesn't do, and Dave Beggy showed his speed and his pace and took the score very well.
Kelly and Beelan. Martin O'Connell, who went off injured in the drawn fixture. PJ Gillick trying to contain that one. Instead, it's Brian Stafford against Mick Kennedy. In need of support, getting it from PJ Gillick. Hit across, and 2 Meath players getting one another's way. The referee's whistle had sounded before Gillick picked that one up and drove it over the bar. It doesn't count. It's going to be a free in for Meath. In fact, there was a little mix-up as that pass came across from PJ Gillick, but obviously there was a push as well. Brian Stafford, scorer of a goal and 4 points last week, on a day when his free taking was below his usual high standards, and he's curled this one in delightfully. So Meath now building up their lead after Dublin made the better start. Ten minutes gone, the watch says so far, but in actual play we've only had 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Sean Kelly. And it's interesting that Kieran Duff is prepared to bring Kevin Foley on walkies around Croke Park as Mick Kennedy goes back to gather. Challenged by Bernard Flynn. Put out here by Liam Hayes, man of the match last week. And the trip is going to result in a free kick being awarded, or is it? The referee says that the wrong man took the free from the hands, hence it's going to be a throw ball. Flynn just holding it up, and Martin O'Connell has gone through the gap, and there's a player loose inside against Gillick, and there's a goal chance here. John O'Leary let him there, and Gillick has hit it over the bar. The goalkeeper decided not to concede the penalty, did his bit to block that one, but PJ Gillick knows he should have scored a Meath goal. Instead it's 4 points to 1.
PJ Gillick will be very disappointed here. Great run by Martin O'Connell into PJ Gillick. Got a chance to run John O'Leary here. John O'Leary thought did very well, but PJ will be disappointed he didn't keep that ball down.
We've had misses at both ends, but that's the most glaring one so far. A point instead of a goal. Oh, and Keith Barr has taken a high one to the face. The challenge there by Colm O'Rourke. And Keith Barr has decided to leave somebody else do the free taking. He was instructing Mick Deegan to come and take it from the corner back position, but Jack Sheedy's decided to come and hit it instead. Dublin with an abundance of free takers around the scoring area. Jack Sheedy being one of them. Kieran Barr, of course, and Barney Rock being the others. Curran can't hold on to it. Vinnie Murphy's come deep, challenged by Sean Kelly. And Murphy carrying the ball out over the sideline. Referee again seeing a push, this time by one of the Meath forwards. Terry Ferguson is now marking Barney Rock, where he is just coming into picture. And all this while, Liam Harnan has been switched in to mark Jack Sheedy. Hit on this occasion towards Kieran Duff. Foley trying to dispossess him, Beggy coming to the aid of his right half back. And one of the many free takers, Kieran Duff, coming in field, while Barney Rock has gone out to hit this one. There's a certain silence around Croke Park, still as if people are waiting for the fireworks to happen. Paul Beelan touches it out. Beggy back around his own half-back line, and there's a push and a free into Dublin in a very kickable position for Barney Rock.
I think that free occurred there, Robbie O'Malley creating a kind of a third man tackle, and Tommy Howard seems to be very sharp today. He's not going to let anything develop.
So Barney appreciating that his side need points to stay well in touch. He got their first and only point from a free, and now he's got the second. Well, he can hit them from any angle. Always worth his place in this Dublin team, and always a big favourite for the fans up there in the hill. So we've got a quarter of an hour gone, and just 2 points the margin. Keith Barr leaves it behind, but he was hit. Struck on the arm, it seems. And Sean Kelly is also feeling an injury. Sean Kelly, a 22-year-old Christian brother. Dublin now awarded 12 frees so far in the game, Meath 2. Taken quickly to Dave Foran. Belted forward, hopefully towards Kieran Barr, but overhit. Well, Jack, Dublin started very positively in midfield, but the supply of ball up to the forwards hasn't been consistent so far.
Yeah, I think the Dublin players out around the middle of the field are knocking the ball in a bit too quick, and they're not trying to set up anything. They're just belting the ball in aimlessly into the forward line. Here's a good
This is hit towards Vinnie Murphy. He took up a good position. Nick Lyons going across to dispossess him. And the referee again has blown the whistle. And out on the 20-metre line, the referee, I think, is going to throw the ball in between two players, Nick Lyons and Vinnie Murphy. And the ref, Tommy Howard, keeping a very tight rein on this game. Kieran Duff across there with Terry Ferguson. And again, the referee signalling just why he's awarding the free. Paul Beelan here, who played in the 1989 league final against Cork. It was a disappointing afternoon for him. This another big match. So just about 20 metres out and a couple of yards in from the far sideline. Not quite getting the range on this occasion. Dublin's fifth wide. Meath without a wide to their credit so far. Liam Hayes coming to challenge with Dave Foran, both of them missing it. Hayes going in with The man in the centre there, Colin O'Rourke, and a real pile-up of bodies. And again, Tommy Howard well positioned to see what's happening. And for the third time in the game, he's decided to throw the ball in, not allowing anything to develop. Foran looking for some space. Hit hopefully forward towards Donald McCarthy, covered out by Robbie O'Malley. O'Malley is held and McCarthy throws out the right hand, and the referee is reaching for the notebook. First hint of a foul of a serious nature, and Tommy Howard takes the name of Donald McCarthy, a former star minor. Picked up a bad knee injury shortly after that, and then stepped into the Dublin seniors. This the incident again, Jack.
Yeah, we see Robbie O'Malley here. Donald McCarthy was intent not to let him play the ball. Very close fist, a very hard tackle.
Jack Sheedy has a bloodied nose. Jack has certainly given this Dublin attack a great deal of disciplined aggression. Dr. Pat O'Neill in there to attend to the Dublin number 11. So after 19 minutes, the scoreboard reading Meath 4 points, Dublin 2. But Meath will remind you once again, wind assisted in the opening 35 minutes. Foran again, comfortably under it, delivering the pass outside to another doughty campaigner, Mick Kennedy. So for that holding by David Beggy. Lashed forward towards Vinnie Murphy, who came with a good run, but Kevin Foley read it all the way. Kick towards Tommy Dowd against the other Tommy Carr. PJ Gillick coming racing out. Oh, and the two Meath men collide, and PJ Gillick shows the strength of his physical well-being. Liam Hayes took up a good position. Kelly has gone forward, and he taps it high, and he put it over the bar. The midfielders combined beautifully that time as Hayes supplied the pass inside for Sean Kelly, his first score, and now just 3 between them.
This all stemmed from a good bit of work by PJ Gillick out in the win. Liam Hayes loves to go forward, picked up a good position, found Sean Kelly, and I suppose quite rightly took his point. The goal wasn't really on at that stage.
The two number 9s, Beelan with a clean fetch against Sean Kelly. Vinnie Murphy. Taken quickly by Mick Lyons. Comes off Tommy Carr's chest, down to the waiting Colin O'Rourke. Hit hopefully towards Brian Stafford. Gathered by Mick Kennedy, a foul on Colin O'Rourke, and a free from the 20-metre line. O'Rourke, the one who set all that up with a good run forward, ends up being taken to ground. And so Brian Stafford in a position that he's been in so often in the past. Charlie Redmond and Mick Galvin, two injured players who couldn't play in this fixture. Well, not leaving too much margin for error, just inside that left-hand post, his second point. So now the gap has widened to 4 points. Jack Sheedy just touched that one on, but took it away from the run of Barney Rock. Instead it's Terry Ferguson. Molly overcarried. There can't have been too much in that one.
I think Dublin will be quite happy with the amount of ball they're winning around the middle, but the Meath forward line have shown how penetrating they can be compared to the Dublin forward line. The few chances they've got, they've put them away, whereas Dublin have wasted a few good chances.
Well, this game, of course, is the opposite to last week in one sense, in that Then it was Dublin who built up the comfortable first half lead, and Meath had to claw their way back into the match. Today it's going to be a reverse situation. Kieran Duff. Beelan is under it. Martin O'Connell there with Curran coming in. Paul Beelan. Good raking ball across towards Vinnie Murphy. Gathered with some difficulty in the Meath defence, trying to close him down. Might just leave a gap for Kieran Duff to exploit. Heary coming belting forward. Now Jack Sheedy. But 40 metres out. Dublin being forced back. Barr against David Beggy. Good defence by David Beggy, but he trips Keith Barr. But he did well initially to come out and close down the move that Dublin were building up. Dublin will be in no particular hurry to take these frees. They'll be building for a good second half performance in particular, hoping to be as near as possible to Meath at the end of 35 minutes. So the angle confronting Barney Rock. He's Dublin's only scorer, and both of those have come from frees, and now he can make that a third. Justifying his selection, which was a late selection made yesterday. Well, Jack, time and time again, Barney Rock comes back onto the Dublin team and really never lets the team down.
Yeah, tremendous free taking by Barney Rock. I think Dublin will be very happy with all their newcomers today. Every one of them are getting on the ball quite a lot and creating quite a few problems for Meath.
This time it's Keith Barr and Colm O'Rourke exchanging greetings once again. This time a Meath free. And it looks like Brian Stafford is the one who's been called to duty. Terry Ferguson, meanwhile, and Martin O'Connell are shaping up like they might take it. And Stafford deciding that it's one that he could well belt in. And Colm O'Rourke has moved in out to the fringe of the small square. Tommy Dow there as well against Tommy Carr. The jeering Dublin fans. And John O'Leary lets that one sail harmlessly over his head. And that's just Meath's first wide. John O'Leary is a good example for any would-be goalkeeper. You see the ball which the official has his foot on behind the goal there. John is always looking where that is once the ball has gone wide, because he's always anxious to take the kick out as fast as possible. That's a poor one towards Heary. Beggy sees that one come gratefully into his arms. So a chance to switch the direction of the play. Kieran Duff has come deep with Paul Beelan. Kevin Foley has followed Kieran Duff. And once again the referee nips in. And what odds another throw ball. And make it the fourth time the referee has thrown the ball in. This is Colm O'Rourke. Dave Foran hanging out of him, it seemed. Foran, who was substituted, having played at full forward last week, happy to get back into the Dublin midfield for this afternoon's tie. That's the 45-metre line. Wind blowing over his right shoulder as he tries to curl it. Not sufficiently. Deegan back there. The corner back sees that pass outside, taken by Liam Hayes. Cut in towards Bernard Flynn. And again it's Mick Kennedy challenging high. Tommy Carr remonstrating with the referee. And Liam Harnan stepping in with his tuppence halfpenny worth as well. Meanwhile, all this while, Bernard Flynn is lying down on the ground following that challenge by Kennedy.
I think this is where Tommy Howard really has to stamp his authority in the game and not let other players trying to referee the game for him. It was a high tackle on Bernard Flynn, and you know, Mick Kennedy conceded a free, and you have to accept that. Here you see the replay of Bernard Flynn getting the ball. Mick Kennedy quite tight on him. Didn't fall him yet, but again, Tommy Carr came across very high. It was Tommy Carr actually that caught him very high and deserved the free kick.
So happily recovered Bernard Flynn. And the referee's going to throw the ball in again. Well, this must be a record for throwing the ball in by a referee in a major championship match. I've only played 28 minutes. We don't normally have statistics on the Sunday game for referee throwing the ball in, but this might be a first. Deegan here. So in the end, it's Dublin's 17th free. A match which has so far produced 23 frees and 5 throw balls. Beelan, lovely fetch by Paul Beelan, pulled to ground by Sean Kelly. Dublin with the free. Dublin playing into the wind, only trailing by 3 points and just over 6 minutes to go to half-time. Murphy there doing quite well in his battle, but so far unable to turn their occasional chances into scores. It's been left to Barney Rock. Barney a good 50 metres out on this occasion. To the left. McCarthy kept it in. Kelly waited. Dowd has come away from his left corner forward position to switch wings. Denied space, however, and possession by Keith Barr. Into Tommy Carr. Onto Dave Foran. A measured build-up by Dublin. Meath trying to deny them space. The referee right up with the play, using an advantage. That's a good steal that time there by Sean Kelly, taking it away from Jack Sheedy. Up to Tommy Dowd, challenged again by Kennedy. Fouled over there by Heary. Dowd wanting to take the free quickly. Hit hopefully into space. Deegan lets it behind. Bernard Flynn trying to get onto it. And the referee meanwhile has blown his whistle for something that happened across on the far side of the field. Well, the linesman obviously wasn't too pleased with the sideline ball that was taken. Or is that the case? It's going to be a free. Liam Harnan with a free for Meath. Hit towards Tommy Dowd, getting there ahead of Tommy Carr, shouldered by Dave Foran. A little solo run through the centre again by Dowd, another good shoulder, so it seemed, by Tommy Carr. It's going to be a Meath free kick, and Sean Boylan has come in to attend to the injured Tommy Dowd. Hopefully after the little drop of water, Tommy Dowd will be fit to resume.
We have a lot of stoppages again to the end of play, but it isn't as robust as it was last week. Here we see Tommy Dowd again. I think more or less playing for a free there. Tommy Carr's tackle seemed to be fairly fair. I didn't think it was a free, really.
Certainly looked absolutely shoulder to shoulder and 1 foot on the ground. The referee's had a quick word with one of his umpires behind the goal away on our left-hand side. And now he's making his way out towards Tommy Carr, player who's marking Tommy Dowd. We've had one name taken, that was Donald McCarthy. And Tommy Carr here, captaining Dublin this afternoon, like his brother is captain in the Munster Championship match, Tip v Limerick, down in Thurles. Gillick trying to get onto the end of it, denied however. Deegan, good relieving ball out of that congested area. Sean Kelly takes it again. Harnan feeding it forward. Brian Stafford knocked into space. PJ Gillick trying to go across, doing well against Kieran Walsh, who was, I think, expecting that ball to go wide. Flynn here trying to turn it into a score. Stafford going in. John O'Leary's dropped it, recovered. And finally, in the end, the referee awards a free out.
Two very bad misjudges there on the Dublin team. John O'Leary involved in both. A little bit of uncertainty between the full back line and himself. And things like that, you know, cause goaling chances. So they have to be aware of those things.
Well, in the end, I think John O'Leary was quite pleased to win himself that free for the foul that the referee saw by Sean Kelly. Beelan trying to get away from the attentions of Liam Hayes and Tommy Dowd. Booted forward to Donald McCarthy. Trying to create an impression in this match. 2 minutes to go to half-time. 6 points to 3, and all Dublin scores coming from frees from Barney Rock. Hayes fed towards Terry Ferguson. Instead, it's intercepted by Barney Rock. Liam Harnan going back there, trying to slap that ball away from Barney's possession. Jack Sheedy unmarked. Driven forward towards Vinnie Murphy. Can't hold it, however. Martin O'Connell took up a good possession, and he was pushed from behind there by Paul Curran. Curran, who hasn't really made much of an impression in this match so far, and where to play him, I suppose, Jack, is one of the problems that the Dublin selectors seem to have.
Yeah, Paul's a very versatile player. I preferably would think he's a better half-back than anything else. There seems to be no problem with him where to play him at the moment.
Well, Terry Ferguson awarded himself a couple of extra yards with that free. Kieran Walsh blocked by Colm O'Rourke. Tommy Dowd nipping in. It ends up being a Dublin sideline ball, despite the furious protest by Colm O'Rourke. So under a minute to go to half-time. Terry Ferguson towards Brian Stafford, pursued by Mick Kennedy. David Beggy, score of a super point in this first half, looking for a second. Not quite having his eye on, but certainly was under a lot of pressure as he was hitting that one.
Yeah, David there took the ball up in a good scoring position to kind of ran himself into a corner where it's very, very difficult to score. This is one of David's problems. Sometimes his speed is too great and he gets tied up in these positions. But a tremendous burst again on the same.
They reach up for it. It's Tommy Dowd, or Tommy Carr rather. Carr kicking it forward. Terry Ferguson cutting it out. And the referee deciding he was fouled by Barney Rock. 31 frees awarded in all in the first half. 20 of those to Dublin, 11 to Meath. And Michael McQuillan is going to take this free as we're into injury time. 6 points to 3 at half-time. Meath the leaders, but is that sufficient? We were making out that perhaps a lead of 4 or 5 points would be required. Dublin in a happy enough position, but Barney Rock their only scorer, 3 points from frees, and so 3 between them at half-time. It makes for an intriguing second half. As we say, Meath leading at half-time by 6 points to 3. The wind, if anything, has freshened a little at the start of the second half. Remember, it's now supporting Dublin as Sean Kelly tries to hit that one forward towards Bernard Flynn, operating despite the number 15 on the right-hand side up front. Kieran Duff. Paul Beelan seemed to elbow into the back of David Beggy as he released that ball. Again, it's hit hopefully forward. And that, Jack, was the story by and large of the first half. Possession in midfield for Dublin, but that final pass was quite inaccurate.
Yeah, Dublin are doing very well around the middle of the field. Jack Sheedy is coming out to help out, winning a lot of balls. But as I said in the first half, they're knocking that ball hopefully forward rather than trying to create some play or some scoring chances.
Hayes going up with that one. Beelan likewise, and Beelan commits the foul. Well aware, I think, of the second half performance put in by Liam Hayes last Sunday. Making sure the history won't repeat itself. Paul Beelan in need of some attention. Paddy Cullen. And the referee's going to throw the ball in yet again. Martin O'Connell, the free taker. Drops down to David Beggy. Hayes calling for it. And Colin O'Rourke tackled hard by Keith Barr. And the referee reaching for the notebook. Barr protesting his innocence. But he would become the second Dublin player to have his name recorded in Tommy Harr's notebook.
Yeah, we see this here again. Liam Hayes controlled the ball well, Colin O'Rourke, and this time it's Keith Barr who lunges in very heavy. Colin and Keith have been involved in a lot of the heavy tackling in the first half, and here Keith committed the foul on Colin.
Brian Stafford watching that ball coming back towards him. Such is the strength of the breeze. Some holding inside. So it's now really up to Dublin. They have the initiative, they certainly have the wind, and they're bound to have a lot of possession. Phelan racing forward, head high, held by Liam Hayes, and Barney Rock ready to take the free as Liam Hayes just indicating his displeasure to referee Tommy Hard. Once again, play broken up repeatedly, even at the start of this second half, with free after free. Rock, point number 4 for the afternoon. All of them from place balls, but now there's just 2 points between the teams. So let's see what kind of headway Michael McQuillan can make against the wind. Colin O'Rourke coming deep for it. Kelly, clean catch. A lot of the clean catching in the first half was coming from the Dublin midfielders, but they didn't make much use of it. Keith Barr wanting an advantage of 13 metres. Disappointed Sean Kelly. Well, this is a fair distance out, even for a predator like Barney Rock. So the expert free taker going for a score, tailing towards the left, held in there splendidly. McCarthy trying to play that ball inside, looking for some support, getting it from Eamon Heary, a wing back who likes to go forward, and he's stuck it over the bar, has he? Yes, off the crossbar and over. There's the bare minimum between them. The Leinster champions are in real trouble against the league champions. Here is first point, a real star. The Dublin fans saluting that kick, and it's 6 points to 5.
Yeah, there's a great point from Eamon Heary, a real team lifting point. I think now Meath at this stage needs someone to storm into Liam Hayes like he did last week, to storm into the game in the middle of the field and start winning possession for them, because they're in trouble at this stage. Here we see the replay, a good ball out by Donald McCarthy. Eamon Heary, no other thing on his mind, just to shoot for the point. A great score.
It's with Heary again. Off the top of the Nally stand on this occasion, but at least he does have the distinction of getting the first Dublin point from play. Well, that league medal that Eamon Heary won last month was his first national honour since he gained an All-Ireland minor medal back 9 years ago. Kelly breaking ball down, Martin O'Connell responding. Up towards Bernard Flynn, runs on towards Brian Stafford instead. Beggy trying to hit this ball forward to use his pace. Kieran Walsh, however, had something an advantage initially, but he's tripped and being tripped. And the referee signals that it's going to be a free out for Dublin as they play away in front of John O'Leary's goal. Well, Beggy there, really hitting that ball forward to test the pace of the defence. He'd got by the half-back line, but Kieran Walsh had gone across and somehow seemed to stumble. The referee saw it as a trip. Paul Curran under this one with Martin O'Connell. A Meath ball. Gillick sees that one fisted away by Mick Deegan. Tommy Carr took a good position, but was fouled by PJ Gillick after he played the ball away. And Ferguson is wondering why the free has been awarded. It's because of a late challenge. The late challenge by PJ Gillick puts further pressure on the Meath backs. So Barney Rock will come and kick this one. Certainly getting a lot of practice this afternoon to fine-tune his free-taking. And he's put it over the bar for the equaliser. Barney Rock kicks another beauty from a huge distance out. And all because of indiscipline at the other end of the field. Barney presented with that golden opportunity to tie up the match, and only 8 minutes gone in the second half. Well, we were saying it's looking ominous for Meath. Dublin with 3 points in the second half so quickly, and that will take a lot of pressure off them. O'Rourke against Keith Barr. Colm O'Rourke with a fine catch. Towards Brian Stafford, taken away from him by Bernard Flynn. Against Tommy Carr. A little solo run forward. Nice control by Bernard Flynn, but going slightly away from goal. Closed down by McKennedy. Heary away, only as far as Brian Stafford. On his left-hand side, booting it in. Fisted by Gillick. Fisted by Kelly indeed, not Gillick. Barney Rock has that one fisted away by Terry Ferguson. A shoulder by Liam Harnan on Jack Sheedy. Martin O'Connell. Well, this is a real test now for the defending Leinster champions. Last year's beaten All-Ireland finalists. And it'll be a great test of character. And as we said, I think, last week, they have certain leaders in their team out there in the park who can make it happen for them. People like Colm O'Rourke and Bernard Flynn and Brian Stafford as well. O'Rourke beaten on this occasion by Tommy Carr. Well, the Meath forward line can ill afford to give away frees like that.
Yeah, Tommy Carr is playing a very good game today for Dublin. I think last week he had a lot of trouble with Tommy Dow, but today he seems to be on top.
Curran racing away down that right-hand side, despite the attentions of Martin O'Connell. Oh, he takes a late challenge that time to the face by Liam Hayes, and the referee has spotted it. That ball is fisted, but it's going to be a free from the 13-metre line. A very good decision by Tommy Howard. He saw that late challenge there on Curran as he got around Martin O'Connell initially. And watch for the tackle coming in from Liam Hayes.
Yeah, here we see Paul Curran, but a very high and dangerous tackle by Liam Hayes. Paul Curran got rid of the ball. Meath have conceded one score already, and this is a very good scoring chance for Dublin from two very stupid tackles, really, because the ball really wasn't to any advantage to Dublin.
Well, it should be a mere formality for Barney Rock as Curran is back on his feet. A strong youngster. And they're really dancing jigs of joy already up on Hill 16. So referee Tommy Howard just indicating to Barney Rock. One of the curious points about that last foul is that the referee did not take the name of Liam Hayes. So this to give Dublin the lead. That is Angle. It's 7-6. Meath failing to score so far in the second half, which is now 11 minutes old. It's been all Dublin, and Barney Rock has kicked 6 of their 7 points.
Yeah, I think at this stage Meath will be looking to bring somebody in to lift them. I think the team needs to be lifted at this stage. The supply ball into the forward line isn't coming.
PJ Gillick struggling to hold on to that. Meath with their 15th free of the game, Dublin with 27 frees so far. So a grand tally to date of 42 frees awarded by Tommy Howard. Liam Harnan and Paul Curran over there. Free doesn't travel very far because of the severity of the breeze. Jack Sheedy dropping it down with the left boot towards Kieran Duff. Terry Ferguson trying to engineer that ball away from goal, and there's a foul. The ball handled on the ground by Kieran Duff, so a free kick which Liam Harnan is ready to take. Driven forward. Tommy Carr. Jack Sheedy, spare man outside, in towards Vinnie Murphy, yet to score in the game. Got just 1 point last week, that a beauty. Well, no luck with his shooting on this occasion. So Meath warming up one of their subs across on the far side. In fact, they've got two players warming up. One of them is Colm Coyle. John McDermott, a big midfielder, over there as well. Here he can't hold it. Colm O'Rourke trying to drive this team forward. The referee blows the whistle. Beggy was taking it from the hands. He wouldn't have been the player to take it in any case. So it's Brian Stafford with this chance of kicking Meath on level terms. 40 metres out. Ordinarily he would be well able to hit this one over the bar, but with the strength of the wind, it's going to be a difficult kick, as the referee has gone behind the goal to once again consult with one of his umpires. He's making more use of the umpires this week than he did last week, and he's now inviting Tommy Dowd and Mick Kennedy to come across to him. There he is on the corner of the screen there. So Kennedy and Dowd, the latest players to have their names taken. By our reckoning so far, 4.5 minutes of actual playing time out of grand tally of 14 minutes and 25 seconds. And Keith Barr. So they're warming up. And Colm Coyle is the number 17, and that looks to be John McDermott, who is taking the instructions there from Sean Boylan, the manager. So a double substitution is about to happen for Meath, who are in real trouble. Stafford then in front of an attendance of 60,960. The biggest attendance ever to attend a first-round Leinster Championship match. The wind makes it tail away. Meath missed 5 frees so far in this game, and the double substitution is happening with John McDermott in and Colm Coyle, and the players who are making their way off are Tommy Dowd, and the other player going off is Liam Harnan. Harnan is taken off. I cannot remember Liam Harnan taken off a Meath team in the past. Dowd also one of the heroes of last Sunday. So it's all changed for Meath. Crisis time. 7 points to 6. Dublin the leaders. Jack Sheedy hitting this one across. High. Terrible angle and just outside. He wasn't too far away. And this is his second championship match. Well, so far it's a tight, low-scoring game. The wind has been a definite factor. Fans, I think, looking for a bit more entertainment. It's been a little bit listless. Ferguson. Challenged by Kieran Duff. He wants Duff out of his way quickly so he can take the free. Gillick. John McDermott has come in around the half-forward line, and Colm Coyle is left half-back, with Terry Ferguson having got into centre-half. Bernard Flynn challenging inside there, and John O'Leary is the one who takes that ball out. The referee has blown the whistle. The Dublin defenders going in to question his decision here. And it's going to be an ordinary free-in, it seems, from the 13-metre line. So it seems that John O'Leary may well have picked that one up outside the small square, and hence the free. Stafford takes his opportunity to put them back level again. His third point, and that's Meath's first point of the second half, and it's taken 18 minutes to produce. So a drizzly afternoon here at Croke Park, and 7 each. It sails over the heads of Paul Beelan and Paul Curran. That incident a couple of minutes ago when the ball seemed to be touched on the ground.
Yeah, we see this ball dropping in here. Mick Deegan should have got hold to that ball. The ball went and gone. John O'Leary dived in it outside the small square. Perfectly right, a 14-yard free.
Sideline ball taken by Sean Kelly. Hit up towards John McDermott. McDermott against Mick Kennedy. Kennedy would seem to have taken that one from the ground, but the referee was a little bit away from the play. Ends up being fouled. Well, the last time these sides met in an early round championship match was 1983. Went to a replay on that occasion, and in the replay it went to extra time. It's 7 points each at the moment, and the referee going across now to have a word with Paul Curran. And Colm Coyle has just come in, a couple of minutes in the action, and referee's already having a little word. Height of the elbow, it seems to be. Easily taken by Colm O'Rourke, despite the attentions of Eamon Heary. Driven forward, Beggy, who has the pace. Heary likewise. That's Keith Barr presenting the challenge. Beggy kicking right across the face of the goal, not too far away. Well, I'm not too sure if he was going for a goal or a point. Was the point there for the taking, Jack?
Yeah, I think a few times in the match David has got chances like that, and when he gets into those situations he seems a small bit negative in his shooting. Meath are missing a couple of chances. Here we have David again, a good scoring chance really, and you know, forced to kick wide.
Jack Sheedy forced to go wide outside, where he was fouled. From Brogan and Paddy Cullen calling out the instructions in the background. So Paddy Cullen watching what is the 50th free of this match. There's a quarter of an hour remaining. Meath 7 points, Dublin 7 points. Nicely taken inside. Phelan lets it behind, he's fouled, and it's a free in. Terry Ferguson incensed by that decision, giving the referee a very vexed look. Phelan the one who made the fetch inside. The referee saw the foul, and so Barney Rock has a chance to tag on what would be his 7th point of the afternoon and restore Dublin's advantage. So wind assisted. It should be an easy one for Barney, and that it is. The expert free taker. So confirmation that it's Dublin leading by 8-7.
Just one thing here, this is where I think Dublin have been found wanting in the past. Somebody to steer the way from here on in. They have the game within their grasp, but now they need a leader.
A little bit of self-belief required as well. Paul Clarke, it seems, is ready to come into the action. The player who was dropped following last week's game, but had been playing right throughout the league and championship last year. Watches now as PJ Gillick in the position where he kicked the point, the equalising score last week. This time feeding it forward to Bernard Flynn. Taking the return, dangerous situation, and he's flicked it over the bar with the fist. PJ Gillick taking his second point, and so the sides level once more. Third time the sides have been level.
Here we have this as PJ Gillick, a bit unsure not to shoot himself, but Bernard Flynn takes it into the corner, knows he's in a hopeless position, gives the ball back out to PJ Gillick, and good thinking by PJ to fist that ball over when he couldn't get a chance to kick it.
Paul Clarke has come in, replacing Paul Curran. So it's a midfielder coming in place of a forward. Jack Sheedy. Downfield. Well, a huge delivery down towards Vinnie Murphy, but Vinnie couldn't hold on to it. Right, couldn't even make a connection. It's such a difficult hurdle for either of these two teams to get over. But whoever gets through will be meeting up with Wicklow in the next round, scheduled for next Sunday. What a tall order that would be to play two very tough championship matches and then follow it with a second round match. McKennedy, fouled from behind by Brian Stafford. Both sides looking a bit leg weary, and at 8 points apiece, we're only 11 minutes away from extra time. That is Clarke. Chance to make an impression instantly. Well, very wayward with his finishing. Off the roof of the Nally stand, so high that it went the other side of the Nally stand and is somewhere out on the road right now. Phelan. Colm O'Rourke trying not to foul him and succeeded. Phelan overholding. Martin O'Connell with the free. Gillick trying to touch it down, does so. Sean Kelly coming forward. Touched into Gillick again. Blocked down splendidly by Mick Kennedy. The support from Colm O'Rourke. Challenged by Keith Barr. Still going forward, Colm O'Rourke. Ball runs loose. Stafford, Martin O'Connell advancing. The left half back in a right half forward position has put it wide. But the score is reading Meath 8 points, Dublin 8 points. Meath's fifth wide in all. Liam Hayes with support from Colm Coyle. Bernard Flynn over there against Mick Deegan. Claims that it might be a Dublin ball from Tommy Carr. Dublin, I think, are about to bring in Jerry Hargan. Will they bring him in at full back where he normally plays? That we'll wait and see. Terry Ferguson, meanwhile. Switched inside to David Beggy. The Navan O'Mahony's man trying to engineer a free kick. The Dublin backs grouping well. Referee Tommy Howard well positioned. Bernard Flynn again, this time against Kieran Walsh. And a little bit slippery following the drizzle we've had. Fed in from Gillick to Colm O'Rourke. And O'Rourke's put it over the bar. And Meath are in front. Having led at half-time by 6 points to 3. Having seen that lead whittled away. Having been brought back level on 3 occasions. The Leinster champions go back in front again. And it's the great-hearted Colm O'Rourke who's done it for them. 9 points to 8. 8.5 minutes to go. And Jerry Hargan is in the Dublin team. He's gone in place of Mick Kennedy. Kieran Walsh has gone to the left-hand side.
This is a great ball back for here from Bernard Flynn to PJ Gillick, who found Colin O'Rourke, and no better man to get the score when he's very badly needed. Unlike last week, he missed a few good chances, but today that's a very, very important score for Meath.
So in the realignment, it's now Jerry Hargan against Brian Stafford, away on the far side. This is the first confrontation between them, and Jerry Hargan wins it, touching it down to Eamon Heary. Robbie O'Malley in difficulty. Paul Clark, the substitute, driving it over defiantly. And I think pointing out at the same time to the Dublin selectors that he has plenty to offer when in form. His first point, an invaluable one at that. Level for the fourth time in the game.
Yeah, this was a great run here by Eamon Heary, a good ball, a bit of purpose in that delivery. Robbie O'Malley unlucky not to hold it, but Paul Clark ran onto the break, steadied himself, picked his angle, and a beautiful score.
Clark's got it again in midfield against another substitute, Colm Coyle. In towards Kieran Duff. We haven't had a goal in the match so far. I wonder, is there one yet? Brilliantly blocked down, but it still runs on towards Donald McCarthy. Martin O'Connell trying to block his paths to goal. Robbie O'Malley well positioned as well. Support required. Jack Sheedy coming in, and the referee saw the foul by Martin O'Connell on Jack Sheedy. O'Connell going in there to have words with the referee, but he's totally nonplussed by it all.
Yeah, I think Martin actually handled the ball on the ground at that time. I'd say that was the foul more than fouling anybody. I think he put his hand on the ball while he was on the ground.
So once again, it's Barney Rock. Outside of the boot on this occasion. Same result. Dublin leading by 1. Well, certainly Paul Clark, who's just come in as a sub here, has done really well. But has he been on long enough to justify perhaps a man of the match selection? Who are you pleased with and impressed with so far?
Yeah, Paul Clark has done very well. I think Paul Beelan has done very well at midfield. Barney Rock has done tremendous, of course, in his free kicks. Mick Deegan has played very solidly. For Meath, I think Meath have no real stars in there. Sean Kelly had a very good first half, but otherwise Bernard Flynn playing quite well.
10 points for Dublin, 9 points for Meath. Keith Barr, just 5 minutes to go. Once again a hit and hope one, and that inside forward line not able to take the possession and turn it into more valuable scores. A new role for Kieran Walsh here, marking Sean Kelly. Michael McQuillan here, who made his senior debut as far back as 1978 with the kick-out. Jack Sheedy, who made his senior debut last year. Super catch against 5 Meath men, and one of them was David Beggy. Got by 2 challenges, and the referee did not allow an advantage. Well, when you're playing against the wind like this, you really need those advantages. But they might have something yet, because the Dublin marking was very slack. Here he's late in getting in there with a telling challenge on David Beggy. Clark trying to get goal side as well. Likewise Jack Sheedy half blocked it down. Meath needing the score to bring this match back to equality. Colm O'Rourke went by, and Keith Barr can only laugh at the decision. A smiling expression on his face, but not one bit pleased. It's presented Brian Stafford with another chance. This about 25-26 metres out. A blustery wind which is now blowing away to his left-hand side, but in spite of that, he's stuck to his task, and these teams are level again. Inseparable after 70 minutes last week, and now inseparable after 62, a little bit more minutes of this week, of this particular game. Indeed, we're only within about 3 minutes of the end of the game, so that should be about 67 minutes. Dropped by Liam Hayes, recovered however against Dave Foran. The foul is committed by Foran, and they really will need to be disciplined now, both teams. Tiring limbs. So is history to repeat itself, or will it be like 1983 once again? Extra time. Keith Barr reaches high, but it's Jack Sheedy who takes up a great position just behind him. Was he fouled by Martin O'Connell? The referee says play on. O'Malley taking it. The jeering from the Dublin fans because they thought there was a late foul that time on Jack Sheedy, but the referee didn't see it like that. And right now there's a Dublin forward down injured, Vinnie Murphy. Robbie O'Malley, I think, going in there to say to Vinnie, get on the feet fairly quickly, and this is not rather nice at all. Dr. Pat O'Neill there trying to attend to the injured player, and now we have the ugly sight of players trying to push away officials in to treat what one assumes is a bona fide injury. Let's take a look at this once again. Was he fouled?
Yeah, we're seeing Mick Lyons here giving the short arm back to Vinnie Murphy. Quite rightly, I think this has to be penalised, you know, because the ball really was covered by Robbie O'Malley. No need to give away a stupid free, and rightly Tommy Howe should give Dublin a free in here, and could be vital to the end of the match.
Well spotted by Tommy Howard, who takes the name. So now we have 5 bookings in all. That compares with 6 last week. And Lyons has been sent off. Meath are down to 14 players, with the game tied up at 10 points each, and just a minute and 15 seconds remaining. The long, lonely walk from Mick Lyons for that foul on Vinnie Murphy. Well, to judge by the reaction of the Meath players initially, I think they were unhappy that there was a foul in the first place when Vinnie went down. But the camera certainly seemed to show a short-arm tackle. The referee penalised it. And the result, a dismissal. We're now inside the last minute. Colm Coyle for 14-man Meath. They'll be hoping just to take it into extra time. Kieran Walsh, stopped by Martin O'Connell. Meath needing to hold possession now and not give it away like this. Dave Foran belts it into space towards Kieran Duff. The jump of the ball there, well judged by Kevin Foley. David Beggy selling a dummy to Paul Beelan, trying to go forward to go round. Kieran Walsh, this is the substitute John McDermott. Match tied up, remember. Jack Sheedy again takes up a great position. That's the second time he's made a magnificent run back to intercept and to make a good clearance. Keith Barr, we're in injury time. If this to be a winner now, it's to come at the time at the discretion of the referee for stoppages. Martin O'Connell, David Beggy. Meath certainly showing the appetite. Great character as well. Deegan, well positioned. Carr taking it from him. Terry Ferguson. Kieran Duff. Over a half a minute of injury time has been played. And 2 Dublin players going forward. And at the end, it's Colm Coyle who gathers as they get in one another's way. It's an amazing miss. That should surely have been a score for Dublin at the other end. A cool head was required and a little patience. Colm O'Rourke has held it up. Fouled by Keith Barr, and Terry Ferguson was waiting for it to come his way. Meath really stretched at the back. It's Vinnie Murphy against Martin O'Connell. Murphy has got it. Oh, it's stopped by McQuillan. Murphy again a second chance. The defence having to be disciplined, not concede anything. It spills loose, and it's come out to Colm Coyle again. He's been fouled. That is an amazing sequence of events. McQuillan is a definite hero after all of that. A fine save, standing his ground in the second minute of injury time. A dramatic finale to the end of the 70 minutes. And that, I think, is all there is. Tommy Howard signals the end of the 70 minutes. And just as in 1983, it has to go to a half an hour's extra time. But Dublin had the match there to be taken for the winner at the very end. But that shot came back off the goalkeeper. At the end of the 70 minutes, the scoreline reads Dublin 10 points, Meath 10 points, and Barney Rock scored 8 of Dublin's 10 points. So a half an hour extra football to play, 15 minutes each, and Meath, it seems, will have the breeze for the first half of that extra time period. Meath still with 14 men, Colm O'Rourke and Sean Boylan still conducting a team talk out in the centre of the field. But Dublin must be absolutely shattered to throw that match away. And on 2 occasions there were chances for glory in the last 2 minutes. Well, correction to what I said earlier, we're going to have a toss. And we will then see who has the win for the first half of extra time. Check. So a whole new ball game and 15 players each at the start of extra time. Kevin Foley takes the challenge from Dave Foran. Kieran Walsh. And back there we saw Jerry Hargan against Brian Stafford. All touched on the ground. Paul Beelan, who impressed from time to time in that 70-minute match which we've just seen. Keith Barr belting it forward, well fetched. John McDermott, the substitute, he's left it behind to Vinnie Murphy. Kieran Duff trying to engineer the first score in injury time, or in extra time I should say, and Kieran Duff gets his first point of the afternoon. So Dublin take the lead in the opening 2 minutes of extra time. Bernard Flynn, Meath with the advantage of the wind. Hit inside to David Beggy, trying to go round, and it's hit inside brilliantly by David Beggy. An instant response by Meath. The first goal of the match, and David Beggy is the goal scorer. He got by Kieran Walsh and hit it in beautifully into the top corner. John O'Leary powerless to deny him. So Meath ahead by 2 points.
This all came from a great kick out from McQuillan, eluded midfield. Bernard Flynn picked the ball up, a tremendous ball into David Beggy, sidestepped his man brilliantly and put it away. Great goal.
So there was a goal in the match after all, and David Beggy, who's picking himself off the ground after that challenge there by Paul Beelan.
We see this goal again. Again, David Beggy with tremendous speed that David has, a great sidestep, and John O'Leary no chance. Tremendous goal.
Colm O'Rourke will be the free taker. Anxious to make the most of this spell of possession which they'll have with the wind. So Meath 110, that's 13 points, Dublin 11. And Meath, having lost Mick Lyons with just a minute or two to go in normal time, have brought back in Liam Harnan for the extra time period. So Mick Lyons' cousin, Liam Harnan, coming in to do duty in defence. PJ Gillick against Tommy Carr. And injured as he was hitting that one in. Jerry Horgan is under some pressure. The ball is kicked over the bar by Colm O'Rourke, but the referee had whistled back the play. PJ Gillick got back on his feet fairly quickly. And Paul Curran is coming back into the Dublin team, and Beelan is the player who makes way. Well, you can be certain that Paul Curran will have been very disappointed to have been taken off in the first place. So now there's the opportunity, with 25 minutes to go, to shine. Kieran Walsh. Great block down by Sean Kelly. Expert timing. Tommy Carr trying to make it his. Kieran Walsh instead for Dublin. Martin O'Connell coming waiting from his half-back position. Jersey was tugged as he was hitting that ball away. Sean Kelly, the player on the ground. And it's Keith Barr who commits the foul. Kelly reeling in agony. Well, it's always a tough physical confrontation, this match, and with limbs and minds indeed getting particularly tired and fatigued at this stage. One hopes that players won't start to throw themselves around and use their physical might.
Here we see Sean Kelly and Keith Barr coming across very high. There's a lot of high tackling going on today. Those tackles shouldn't be allowed in the game, and I think Keith Barr was very lucky there to escape.
Although I think, in fairness to Keith Barr, in the league campaign he had disciplined his game quite considerably, in the same way I think that Jerry Horgan had done over the years. Brian Stafford with the free. The side ahead by 2 points. We're playing with the aid of the wind as John McDermott makes a run down to the left-hand side. And the kick has tailed to that left-hand side. Meath's 9th wide of the match. They had 7 in normal time, and only 1 of those in the second half. John O'Leary will be celebrating his 30th birthday later in the month, hoping to be in the championship still at that time. Colin Coyle. Cross towards Sean Kelly. Fetched in the air by Kieran Walsh. Dropped down, however, and it's Colm O'Rourke who takes it against Keith Barr. McDermott, and the whistle has sounded. Yet another free. Meath win their 34th free of this match, the 4th in extra time. 69 free kicks in all we've had. The kick by Stafford, nicely on its way. He's kicked 4 or 5 points now, all of them coming from frees. So a goal between the teams. either way, whoever wins this at the end of the extra time period, it will have been a hard day's work over 2 hours of football. Paul Kern, I should say. But it really is the same old story. Stop, start all through this match, and that continuing into extra time. Robbie O'Malley. Nicely won against Donald McCarthy. Keith Barr. Just losing his concentration and almost losing the ball. McDeegan will take the free. Dave Foran against Liam Hayes. Hayes, who was not given the chance to shine in this match, as happened in the second half last Sunday. So Barney Rock going across to take the free, coming up to 10 minutes gone now in the first period of extra time. Dublin with just 1 point to show for extra time so far, that at the very start of this half. Wind into Barney's face. Liam Harnan in, there is a goal! It's a goal, and Jack Sheedy is the goal scorer from Barney Rock's free kick. Martin O'Connell goes in to question that with the umpire, but Jack Sheedy got the fist to it. A magnificent goal against the wind. Well, it's the kind of break that Dublin needed. Heary now. Sides on level terms, remember, 1-11 apiece. Robbie O'Malley is fouled. It's going to be a Meath free out. And now it's getting heated over there once more. And Robbie O'Malley just telling Martin O'Connell to cool down a little. Kieran Duff, the player on the ground, the notebook out once again. Meath, who lost a player in normal time, but are back to the full complement for this extra time period. Well, the lecture, it seems, will be sufficient. So Meath 1-11, Dublin 1-11. And that great goal by Jack Sheedy, the reward of a very fine, expertly taken free by Barney Rock, curled in brilliantly. And this roughly the same situation again. Will it be a case of déjà vu?
Yeah, that was a tremendous goal for Dublin. I wonder how much the loss of Mick Lyons in there at that stage was cause for that goal, because Mick is usually commanding those positions. In the Meath square, nobody commanded the ball. Jack Sheedy got up and punched it tremendously to the net.
Once again it's curled in, Vinnie Murphy racing in, dropped by Harnan, and the referee whistles up the play for a foul inside there by one of the Dublin forwards, Kieran Duff. The player is on the ground. Free's taken quickly again, but too quickly. Terry Ferguson had picked it up. Tommy Hard wants it back. Well, we saw in the 70 minutes that Tommy Hart had to keep a very, very tight rein on this match to stop it from exploding. And from time to time in the second section of the game, the extra time period, it seems that the referee really will have to have his wits about him to ensure that the game concludes in a satisfactory way. Here's the goal once again by Jack Sheedy.
Yeah, we see a good free in here from Barney Rock. Martin O'Connell seemed to be the Meath defender that should have gone to that ball, but again, 2 or 3 Meath defenders in on top of him. Jack Sheedy came in, tremendous punch to the net.
Dave Foran trying to get space against Colm O'Rourke. Colm will realise that with 15 minutes still to go for the second half, the leg-weary Dave Foran and his team will have the wind behind them. It It may well be that Ray Holland, the player there in the background, is about to come forward. Paul Beelan there too. In extra time, of course, you can bring on 3 fresh subs. Jack Sheedy, 111 to 111. Harnan now at full-back against Vinnie Murphy. Falls short. Kieran Duff. Pushed by Sean Kelly. Referee not taking the option of allowing an advantage to accrue. And about a minute of this first period of extra time still to be played. Barney Rock, who kicked 8 frees in the opening 70 minutes. Off the post and down to Robbie O'Malley. Recovers, trying to make his clearance, fouled by Kieran Duff. Well, it was a good piece of anticipation by Robbie O'Malley, who hadn't looked at his sharpest in the match last weekend. Brendan Riley has now been brought in to the Meath team, and going off is Sean Kelly. The end of the first period of extra time, and they're still level. 2 goals in that period. The first by David Beggy after a magnificent run forward, and the second by Jack Sheedy, a fisted goal, and they're level with 15 minutes still to go.
30 of 2011. Full-time scores from other venues. Laois 117, Westmeath 6 points. Tipperary 218, Limerick 10 points. Leitrim 116, Sligo 5 points. Down 1-7, Armagh 8 points. And to the All-Ireland B hurling semi-final, Carlow 4-14, Wicklow 3-6 for the Middle.
Well, if the sound quality across in North America is up to what we hope it is, you may have got all those scores, but just to confirm the one that we didn't give you, that's from the Gaelic grounds in Armagh. Down 1-7, Armagh 8 points, so that's a 2-point win for Down. I think, Jack, that was a very good point that you made there about the loss of Mick Lyons. You really wonder whether or not that goal would have gone in for Jack Sheedy had he been in there.
Yeah, you know, Mick is such a commanding player, especially in front of goal, and maybe the calls just weren't right, but 2 or 3 Meath players went into the square. Jack Sheedy came in with pace and speed, and his fist seemed to get to the ball and propel it to the net. But I think at this stage, Joe, it's which team wants to win most, which team can dig down most. You know, everything is level. It's all beginning again, and I don't think you could pick a winner at this stage, but it's whichever team or whichever player gets the game now by the scruff of the neck.
John McDermott now in midfield with Liam Hayes. Jack Sheedy in there with Dave Foran. Level at the moment, 1-11 apiece. And the replay date, if they were to finish level at the end of 15 minutes, would be next Saturday. So we'd have the Saturday game rather than the Sunday game. Barney Rock. Beautifully forward for Donald McCarthy. He's failed to score so far. Doing his piece of pushing on Robbie O'Malley. Referee wants the free taken again. A little bit pedantic perhaps, but he wants to lay down the law as he's done so from the start of the match. which was now an hour and 45 minutes ago. Brendan Riley, well, his first piece of action, and Keith Barr has taken a cramp right beside Brendan Riley. Yes, the limbs now particularly weary, all the hard training, and it really is quite a dogfight. Heary belting it in, touched on, Martin O'Connell waiting, Ferguson reacting quickly, Liam Hayes cut out by Heary on its way towards Gillick. Colm Coyle under it over there, drops down to Kieran Duff. Paul Curran denied. Terry Ferguson really looks busy. Brendan Riley once again stopped by Paul Curran. Well, the nature of the game this afternoon and also last Sunday, like so many other Dublin Meath matches, thus far shalt thou go and no further. Keith Barr and John McDermott. Barney Rock kicks it down to Vinnie Murphy. Dublin looking for the first score of the second period of extra time. Colm Coyle was holding off Paul Clark. McQuillan seemed rooted to his line, and Barr suffering from a further bout of cramp. That was a very dangerous move from Meath's point of view. So a painful experience for Keith Barr, who's played his heart out.
Yeah, we see a ball coming in here. Vinnie Murphy, beautifully taken by Vinnie Murphy. Turned onto his left foot, shook off the defenders, but really miskicked the ball. But Michael McQuillan didn't really seem to know very much about it, just give him the post and went wide.
Terry Connor is the player who's come in the second period, and he replaces PJ Gillick. It's a much changed Meath team. It's a real backs to the wall exercise, an exercise in courage and bravery right now to hang on in there. Ferguson pushed by Paul Curran. Jack Sheedy grateful to see that Jerry Hargan is in behind him. Ferguson outside towards Colm O'Rourke, takes one to the face against Paul Curran, and Curran persistently fouling now in the last couple of minutes. And Ray Holland has just given the little slip of paper to our match referee. Holland, who can play at half back, and he's replacing Keith Barr. And his task is to subdue Colm O'Rourke. So a cramp victim, Keith Barr, makes his way off. Or is he to be the player who goes off? He's going over. Jim Brogan is in there just to check who's on, who's off. It's a little confusing. And Barr indeed is the one going. Harnan has taken the free kick. Colm O'Rourke has that one fisted away by Jack Sheedy. Booted clear further by Kieran Walsh. Paul Curran, way back, 45 metres out from his own goal. A good run forward this against Brendan Riley. Nearly 5 minutes gone in the second period of extra time. Meath 1-11, the marauding Dubs 1-11. He's kicked it wide. He's yet to score in the game in what is his 6th championship match. And Pádraig Lyons is also coming in for Meath, so changes everywhere. The two managers deciding to take the chance to rest players who are weary at this stage in the game. And it's John McDermott, a sub himself, who's gone away. And that's Pádraig Doherty, who made his championship debut last Sunday. Alan Brown, we think, is also coming in. Indeed, Alan Brown, I can confirm, has come into the team. Both sides then redrawing their forces quite considerably. Bernard Flynn, for instance, is up at full forward at this stage. Meanwhile, Brendan Riley back there, fouled. The wind's still a quite considerable factor. Remember, it's favouring Dublin at this stage in the match. Picked up by David Beggy, tripped. Referee says play on. Comes out towards Terry Connor, and he can't avail of it. They may not get too many better chances. Colm O'Rourke had a word with the referee Tommy Hard about that incident, but it seemed to me that the ref allowed an advantage. Paul Clark can't hold it. The pitch has got to be quite greasy after the rain we've had, mostly of a drizzly nature. Sean Boylan on his feet, advising Colm Coyle, the side still level. We await the first point of the second period of extra time. Brian Stafford has pushed McDeegan. Nothing will come of it. Indeed, nothing has. Well, one way or the other, it's going to be a dramatic victory if we have a win inside the next 8 minutes. Still level. Colm Coyle getting round the challenge. Belted forward. McDeegan here, getting there ahead of Bernard Flynn. Stopped by Terry Connor.
McDeegan has been tremendous throughout. He's kept a good tag in Bernard Flynn. It takes a good player to mark Bernard, but Mick has been tremendous.
Robbie O'Malley. Stafford. Challenged by Jerry Hargan. Transferring the ball inside to the goal scorer for Meath, David Beggy. Held up by Eamon Heary. Refusing to yield an inch. Alan Brown will be the free taker. Stafford had come and made a run. Not right, however, by Brown. It's up towards Terry Connor. Sheedy's gone in, he's injured himself in the process, and Tommy Carr's down injured as well. I think they may have collided with a tackle. Heary against Terry Connor. The whistle has sounded. Jack Sheedy went down instantly, and Tommy Carr in need of attention as well. Jack Sheedy particularly distressed, it seems. 6 minutes remaining. This is the incident, Jack.
Here we see this incident here. A ball that Ray Holland had a chance of picking up. Actually, Tommy Carr went down heavily on himself. Jack Sheedy received a bit of a high tackle. But I think Jack has worked tremendously hard throughout the second half and this extra time period, and I'm sure the legs are wearing out a bit. But he's a very strong character, very determined, and I'm sure he'll be able to go on.
Well, it really is a case of the survival of the fittest. So far, in extra time, we've had 22 frees, 12 of them to Meath, 10 to Dublin. Sheedy, a strong man, that's streaming from that nose injury picked up earlier on. The referee bound to allow about an extra minute for the stoppage there. But on my watch, 5 minutes to go. Oh, and Harlan was coming in. Or was it Harlan? It was Alan Brown. Alan Brown coming in there and really hitting the ball where he hoped it would be and not where it actually was. And the notebook is out once again. Vinnie Murphy, the player on the receiving end. Curiously, Vinnie Murphy yet to score in the game. He's the only one of the forwards, perhaps along with Paul Curran, yet to score.
Vinnie Murphy, a player who puts his head in only what a fellow wouldn't put in his boot. Vinnie gets down very low and is often in danger of legs pulling, and at that time Alan Brown pulled very high.
So a stirring contest once again. Deegan driving it in, stopped by Colm O'Rourke back in his own half-back line, and another high challenge the referee quite correctly going in to warn the Dublin player involved, who seems to be Donald McCarthy. Well, it's something that referees are doing their best to try and stamp out. So McCarthy, who's already been booked.
Here we see Colin O'Rourke coming out, but you see a lot of players committing themselves to lunge at the player with the ball, and that's what happened there. Donald McCarthy came in very high and caught Colin O'Rourke very, very high.
Well, booked in normal time and booked in extra time, but it's a whole new game, so he has a distinction of being booked twice in the same match and still playing. Heary. Bursting forward again. What a great point he got earlier in this game. This one down towards Kieran Duff, couldn't hold it. Well, that final telling pass from the half-backs or midfielders into the front line, it's been lacking a bit of finesse this afternoon. And with 3 minutes to go, we seem headed for another game. Well, an aggregate crowd of 110,000 people have watched this contest between Meath and Dublin so far. Just over 50,000 last week, just over 60,000 this afternoon. And in spite of the stop-start nature of the game, such is the great rivalry between the counties, and if this were to be replayed next Saturday, they'd have no difficulty getting another 60 in here to Croke Park. But can one or other of them muster a winning score? Will it be Bernard Finn for Meath? The little snapshot wide of its target. We haven't had a score in this second period of extra time. At the end of the first half of the game, it was 6 points to 3 in favour of Meath, 10 points each at the end of 70 minutes. At the end of an additional 15, it was 1-11 each. And the referee has now been suffering the effects of it all. And a little bit of cramp, I think, by referee Tommy Howard. I think, Jack, our voices are beginning to go as well.
Yeah, Joe, I think we'll have to get a cup of tea at this stage. I think that this game has seen everything. The game never really took off, never came to life. You know, we've had stops and starts and too many frees, but everybody out there suffering from cramp at the moment, and I think Joe, you must be suffering from cramp as well.
So Tommy Howard has discarded the laces, the bands, to hold up the stockings on a very tiring afternoon. We're just 1 minute short of the end of the tie. And it's picked up here by Dublin's Ray Holland. Fed forward. Barney Rock. Can he get the winner? It's blocked. A real mad scramble for it, and the ball is touched on the ground. Ray Holland, the player who touched it. And Colin O'Rourke, that great wise head, saying to Martin O'Connell, slow it down. There's no need to rush. If we can get a point and win the game in what is the last minute of extra time, well and good. 129 minutes of a match so far. On my watch, the referee blew up about 20 seconds early, but who cares? There was no score in the second period of extra time. There was a lot of drama, and they meet again here on Saturday. It ends in a dramatic and at times very eventful first round Leinster Championship match. But the sides all tied up.
Will be announced by the Leinster Council tomorrow night.
And it now finishes with a finishing score of Meath 1-11, Dublin 1-11. They meet again. Will it be third time lucky?